going to start it.
I don't want to. I don't like starting it just randomly.
So Buffy the Vampire Slayer was an existing series.
You know what was also an existing series? This podcast we do called Peeves and Qs. And it's a podcast where we talk about things that are annoying us each week and ask each other questions. That's how you start a show. That's how it's done.
Who else is on this show?
But that's just a theory.
Me.
A pod theory.
No, stop it!
Right.
Why? You ruin everything!
This is why you're only our special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, I'm special guest. Guest 1. Jordan Kinney.
Great. Awesome.
Oh my god.
We also have the Quaff Man.
What's up?
You look terrifying right now with that face. I will not be sleeping tonight. Thank you. Who else we got over here with the clever girl?
Hi, me, Jody.
And I'm Mr. Red, your host. Our first segment is how you guys doing this week. We start with that, and so we'll start with that this time because this is a very normal episode. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys.
There's a lot less hair in this room this week. There was a ton of hair last time.
Right.
There's a bunch of hair this time. You got a haircut?
Yes.
You got a haircut.
Correct.
I don't know if you got a haircut.
You can never
That
tell
was
with
the last time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can never tell. You're so blonde.
It was the time before that it was about our facial hair. It was
Yeah, well, you guys...
there was a lot of
and you
facial hair
shaved
going on.
and
Yeah.
a lot less hair.
Connor, you never get a haircut. What you do is, like, every single day you go to the barber and they, like, trim, like, the centimeter that might have grown since yesterday. So you just have the same hair forever.
I had like an inch and a half taken off.
What are you saying? Whatever.
Well, that's just circumcision.
What's the...
Oh, if it's an inch and a half, then that's not circumcision.
Something weird.
That's
That's like
castration.
that's mutilation.
No, hey, we can't talk about this anymore. Peeves and Qs, you guys. Peeves and Qs.
Well, how's everyone's week?
I mean, it's
Wow. Enthusiasm from
It's
that
really
side
hot.
of the table.
It's really hot here in Michigan.
Super hot.
And it was supposed to rain all week and it didn't rain at all.
I love it. I love how hot it is. It feels like summer finally, even though it's been like springish.
Yeah,
It's just been chilly.
Yet,
It's just been super chilly, and now it's like...
Well, we had such a weird winter. It was really hot in February, and
Yeah.
then it got super ridiculously cold.
Yeah, it was like really like... It was... You could take your jacket off at one point. There was like this one week in February where you're like, this is fine. We're fine. But then it was like,
And
nope, second ice age.
Now it's really stupid hot.
Yeah, now it's hot. I like
I'm
it.
not complaining. It's just really hot. I know you guys are complaining.
I'll complain.
I'm not complaining.
I hate that.
I was gonna say you're.
We got one complaint.
If I could stab the humidity, I would.
You could.
You could.
It's just completely useless. It does nothing.
I wish humidity was like an ancient god that had an avatar that I
Probably.
could then stab.
Probably is somewhere in comic books. Hey, speaking of comic books,
Wow, great segue.
one of us at this table has something they need to get off their chest about comic books.
Are we doing peeps first?
Are we doing peas first?
Is this going to be your peeve?
No,
Because
that's
we
not
could-
my- that's
okay,
not my
good.
peeve.
Yeah, you might as well spill it out.
What? The comic books?
Yeah, we'll talk about this first. This is kind of like a
Current events.
current events. It's kind of like a sequel to a miniature sequel to our Civil
And I don't
War
feel bad
discussion.
talking about it just because, I mean, the comic is out now. I mean, I know that.
And this will probably go up like several weeks from now.
Okay. Yeah, true. Yeah, so Captain America #2 and the all new, all different?
All new, all different Marvel.
Marvel. Captain America was revealed to have been a Hydra agent
Boom.
this whole time.
Boom.
And forever will be.
And forever will be,
Apparently.
according to the creators, according to the editors at
Not
Marvel.
creators.
Whoa, that was a big slip.
No, they also collaborated the story. They were like, yeah, we agree, Captain America is a
He
Hydra
is.
agent.
Well, I don't think the two Jewish men who created Captain America would say, oh yeah, he's totally a Hydra agent.
Well, if they said he has been this whole time, then maybe that was their plan.
Maybe. I don't know.
It got
So, there's
it
so
got-
much. There's so much disdain trapped in my body right now that I cannot express over podcasts.
We talked about how hot it was, but it's suddenly super cold
cold
in here.
yeah.
That look you just threw me.
I think, Connor, do you smell toast? Are you okay?
Since Connor said that last week, I have heard that on every single TV show that I've watched. I'm like, God, so much toast. So much toast.
Weird.
All right, well, there's just way too much anger.
I mean,
hanging
yeah,
out
you got to
here.
come back to me in a couple weeks on this. I'm
Sure,
still really
All right.
Hopefully you chill
salty.
down.
Well, who's got a question?
Well, I have some questions for you guys.
Oh, some?
No.
More than one?
No, just one.
I have a
Oh.
Just
question.
one. What's up?
What's your peeve?
We're doing peeps first.
We should.
Go ahead.
Right, Peeves. Who's gonna go first with that? Nose go.
I'll go.
Oh, good. That worked out.
Mine isn't really big this week, but it happened Thursday.
Mhm.
No. Yes, Thursday after work. Go to Kmart. Don't particularly like going to Kmart because it's a shithole, but they do have good prices on some stuff. So I go in there. You know, bathing suits are half off. Get whatever I need. It's almost my birthday, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some stuff. Like I need that excuse to go buy something. But so then I go to check out. There's 3 registers open, which is amazing. There's usually never 3 registers open.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people in one, and then there's a mild amount of people in the other 2. I just pick one and I go and I'm standing there.
This feels like a Goldilocks story so far. What was the third one like?
Shut up.
Okay.
The same. I said the 2 were the same and one was really
okay.
long.
I was not listening. Go on.
Oh, well, thank you. So, I'm in line. The lady in front of me has some stuff, like a bunch of stuff. I have an armful of stuff. And then I see this younger gentleman, like mid-20s, maybe 30. He's got 3 soccer balls in his arms. And he was in the other short line. And now all of a sudden he's behind me. And now he's standing right behind me going, are you fucking kidding me? Come on. I hate people like that.
Yeah.
Like, the line's not going to move any faster. She's doing exactly, cashier's working as fast as she can. She's not dawdling at all. And
Right.
I'm sorry that, like, this lady in front of you had to buy a bunch of stuff. And I'm now sorry that I'm standing in front of you and having to buy some stuff. And... like, where are you going? Where are you going with 3 soccer balls that you are in such a goddamn hurry?
A soccer game?
Well, you should have planned better, and you should have been on time, and you should have already had your soccer balls.
Well, he's got to
Like a week before.
Seriously.
Well, he's got to get home to practice juggling 3 soccer balls. That's
Apparently.
the only thing you can do.
Hey, if that was the case, it's completely excusable.
But
I
I
see that guy
have
juggle 3
never
soccer
been so close to turning around and saying something to
Oh,
someone.
wow.
I was really close, but...
That's your breaking point, soccer ball man?
Well, no, the guy, because he was just so rude. Well, I always get scared to say something to somebody
I get it.
because I do live near Flint and they could shank me, but or whatever. But
I mean, shanks happen everywhere.
Yeah.
That's not just a Flint thing.
I guess, but it's more popular in Flint. But I really wanted to, but you used to work at Kmart, and
used
you've
to.
told me that they've escorted people out for like being rude. Or, like, getting into fights and whatever. And so I really just wanted my stuff and I wanted to leave. So I didn't want to say something and then have him say something back to me and then not be able to get my stuff. Was that right of me? No. But I'm really mad at you, guy that was behind me at Kmart, and you were a big douche.
Yeah.
On
if you're
another
hearing
side-
this.
On another side of that, though, I am not a vocal person when this happens
No.
at all. But,
No.
like, there are times when there are people that are making... I feel it is their purpose in life to make everyone... like, it was their destiny to
Yeah.
arrive at this line
Yep.
with these items, with that attitude, to irritate everyone behind them.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
a part of that. And, I mean, I'm not a vocal person. I would never go, oh, fuck.
Right.
I mean, unless it was just that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But, man.
Yeah. I would never blame the cashier.
Yeah.
Unless they were just a complete
I mean,
idiot.
yeah,
Which happens
sometimes.
maybe 2% of the time.
Right.
But I mean, I guess I would blame the person if the person in front of me who was buying the bunch of
Sure.
stuff was like, I have my points that I'd like to use, and this coupon says, and blah
This is
blah blah,
giving
and
me
you
PTSD.
said, and then
Like, this
they
is
call
spot
over a
on.
manager, and then they pay with a check. Get it together, people. You don't need checkbooks anymore. Get a debit card.
Yeah. What is that even for?
I know, I hate
Yeah,
checks.
actually, he checks quite a lot.
Why?
I mean,
For what?
yes,
For? Explain
for
to me.
sending in bills, but you don't need a check at the grocery store.
When you're at a place buying a thing and you're like, I want to give you my money right now and take this stuff, why?
There's no reason. to
There's
have a
no
check.
reason for checks. No reason at all.
Most businesses don't even take checks anymore. There's
Right.
Right,
no
they're-
checks. Big ass sign.
Yeah.
There's going to be 10 years down the road and people are going to be like, what is that?
My mother's still going to use checks. I'm still going to be pissed.
Yeah.
It takes so long because she doesn't even start filling them out until she gets the dollar amount. Like, you
Yep.
can put what store we're at, what date it is and all that crap.
When you have like a line and there's a customer who had a ton of stuff and then they pay for them and then you're like, that'll be, X amount, and then they reach into their bag.
God,
And you're just like, no,
be
just
prepared.
go. Just go.
I had my Kmart card all out, ready to go.
Yeah.
And I know this is something. Get it together, people, and calm down behind me.
Yeah. When you're behind Jody in line, specifically Jody, everyone else is fine.
And you have 3, count them,
3 soccer balls.
He
Any
only
more,
has
any less?
2 legs.
In the clear.
Probably.
I mean, I didn't really look at him. I just looked at him enough to be like, all right.
He could have had a third
I
leg.
can't hate you. He could have. I wasn't looking that close.
All
But
right.
that was my peeve of the week.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who wants to go next?
I mean, I'm next. So my peeve this week involves the heat and humidity. So I work in an establishment.
Most people do.
It shows projected images onto a screen.
Moving pictures.
Moving pictures, if you will.
Yeah.
A motion picture.
Yeah.
In a theatrical setting?
Like you have
like
talk-
a really big screen.
you have silent
Yeah.
films, and you have talkies, and then you have still films, and you have movies.
Yes.
Movies?
And they're
sure,
they're
sure.
in big cement buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I work in movie theater, guys.
And
I work nights, so I'm there pretty much from like I clock in at like 11:30, and I'm there till like 5 or 6 in the morning. And during spring, summer, and even winter, this is even okay. Where when the last customer has left the building, the AC or the heat is shut off
okay,
automatically.
sure. Save energy.
Save energy, fine. Whatever. Spring, summer, or spring, fall, that's not a problem. Winter, I mean, the heat kind of stays trapped in the cement building.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine, it's not too bad. It's been 80 degrees.
It's been 90. I got in my
been
car the
90
other day and it
degrees.
was like 105 in my
And
car.
yesterday, I had my phone out. My phone does it's a weather app, but there's also a thermometer bit where it tells you
cool.
surrounding area temperature.
Is that just like the weather app, or is that a specific one?
It's a specific app.
Okay.
And it was 95 degrees at the top of one of the theaters.
Oh my gosh.
This is
dangerous.
right. This is within an hour of them shutting off the air. It didn't take long.
Oh my! And this was at night.
This is at night.
Wow.
This is at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's
And I
crazy.
looked at my phone, and outside it was like 72. It's 72, but feels like 73.
Oh wow!
Oh,
You
that's
should have like opened
inexcusable.
all the doors.
Yeah.
But it was humid.
Oh yeah.
So then it would have been hot and
sticky.
humid.
And sticky.
And I don't know if there's like a law, like a universal law about this, where if you open a door at night, bugs will come in.
oh yeah.
Oh, because of the lights.
But they will always
Yeah.
populate the hotter area.
Oh,
Oh.
probably.
So the theater.
Yeah.
So we didn't open up the doors. And so we've been trying to get a hold of management.
To tell them to keep that.
No, to keep.
fucking
And
air
so
on.
we asked,
Yeah.
hey, can you leave the air on? Or if you don't want to leave the air on the whole time, can we at least turn it on till break, which is around 2:30, and we'll shut it off then. At that point, there'd be enough circulation to
At least keep
at
it cool
least-
for the couple
right,
of hours that
right.
you're there.
because there's a specific job that people do, and they put on a back vac, and they vacuum each row
Oh.
of 10 theaters for 10 different auditoriums. So I go to management, and they say no. To which, just no. We're shutting the air off when customers are gone. It saves. And I asked them, does keeping it on an extra couple hours, would you really lose that much money?
I
And
mean, yeah, you kind of would, but
They're
but
like-
at what
but
cost of your?
my peeve is the
Yeah.
response to this.
Uh-huh.
Well, you guys are only here for a couple hours. You can deal with it.
Oh yeah.
You're here for a normal amount of shift,
And I
like that.
and I
every
said,
other person
well,
is there
the other
for.
night, someone almost died of a heat stroke, and they're like, well, make sure to bring water bottles.
Oh my! I would.
So my
right.
peeve this week is management, wherever you are, to management of any like establishment, local or national. Listen to the needs of your employees
And the safety.
because odds are they're not going to ask something if it's safety related that is that is completely unachievable. It's not usually something that you should be going, no.
Your day shift people don't have to worry about
No.
that. Why should your night
Right.
shift people have to worry
I
about
get
that?
it. Like, I get it, saving money, and it's the air. But the philosophy is that the air isn't there for the employees, it's there for the customers.
I guess.
Right, and that's it's like, why would anyone want to work or do anything?
Right.
The air conditioning went out at my dental office this week too, and it was only like half a Thursday and then half a day on Friday. We were there, and it was bad. So,
so that's my peeve this week.
There must be like something going around because we don't have air at my house either.
You don't?
No.
Oh. Well, this is the first full hot week, so people are now turning on their air conditioners and finding that they're not working.
Right,
but yours is just turning them off.
Yeah. So, again, my peeve this week is negligence. Negligence in the face of a safety concern.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Definitely. Yeah. Good one. Let's move on to one that's not so good. I can feel it now.
Actually, Connor is such a good setup for what mine is.
Is it work-related?
Oh, very.
I feel ours is almost always work. Like, the three of us, it's almost always
because we work
work-related.
hard, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you looking at me for?
Because you don't work.
I do.
We didn't
You work
look
with your
until you
daddy.
said, hey.
She was looking at me.
I was looking at you.
Mine is work-related, too. So.
Mine wasn't work related this week, but
Got to balance it out. Go on.
So I recently learned a story about my workplace that made me very disappointed and quite angry.
Yeah.
So we recently had a manager leave our store, and basically for McDonald's, they will transfer managers around if it's necessary, just because they do.
from different
Right.
branches.
So yeah.
Okay.
So one manager transferred from our branch to another one. I just thought, oh well, she's from there. She's probably like going closer to home because they need someone.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Well, what I found out was that we had an employee, a nice guy, who happens to be gay, and someone said that he sucked at his job, and this manager's response, trying to be funny,
Oh, no.
was, well, of course he does. He's a queer.
Ugh.
Now, the fact, and my peeve...
How is that inherently... I'm sorry to interrupt, but how is that supposed to be funny?
Because he sucks at his job. It's stupid.
It's
Oh,
It's a
I
blow
see.
job joke.
I'm sorry. I'm not woefully ignorant, therefore I didn't find that joke funny. Continue.
Before you even said it, because I knew you were going to say it.
So... and my peeve isn't that she did it. Like, I get that some people just have that type of humor.
Hold on. Was this a new manager that came to yours?
This was a
So
manager
this is an old manager.
that had been a manager for about a year and a half.
Okay.
A younger person, probably around our age. But,
Oh, okay.
So she makes this comment.
Early
and-
mid-20s.
Well, she's old enough to know. That's
Right.
not okay.
And so she makes that joke. And, of course, this employee is outraged and says, well, that's not okay at all.
Right.
And makes a big deal about it with upper management and the ownership. Well, their solution was to transfer her to this other store. That's why she transferred. It wasn't to move closer to home. It was
To
because
move away from the quote-unquote gay
it's
person.
because she
The
called
agenda.
someone who was homosexual queer, and he was going to sue the store because that's totally what you do in that. And so my peeve is that she wasn't fucking fired.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, but not only is McDonald's policy to fire someone for that, but management is the example of a professional environment.
Right.
And if a manager can't keep their shit together and think about what they say, bye, don't need you, sorry, it's McDonald's, we'll find someone else.
Right. Did you say anything?
I was not aware of it at the time, and it's been
Time since
a couple
then.
of months
Yes.
since.
Statute of limitations.
Okay. Yeah.
So now
Social
this is
statute
something
of
I have been
limitations.
planning about saying at the next manager meeting, just in general, the management's behavior being a bit inappropriate.
Sure.
Do
But
it.
that's my peeve. Like, if you're, first of all, try and be a professional at work. It's your goddamn job. Secondly, if you're a manager, fucking
setting-
get your shit together.
You're setting an example
Yeah,
of what you expect your employees to live up to.
You're like a role model.
And I think
Yeah.
I think one of the problems here is, at least for me in hearing this scenario, I mean, agreeing with you 100% that this manager should have been fired, but it's more than that behavior isn't acceptable. You said something that was inappropriate, therefore you should be fired. It's, why would you want someone who is that... either, like, I don't know this person, so I'm not going to assume that this person is just inherently ignorant or intolerant.
Right.
But that comes across that way. Not only is that unprofessional, that's just wrong, and this person should have been fired regardless.
Right.
I mean, it is inappropriate behavior, and it is unprofessional, so therefore, through the business aspect, yes, she should have been fired.
Right.
But even there's like a social contract
Yeah.
within a workplace that you just treat people decently because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And is this person like?
Regardless of your beliefs.
Right.
Is this person prone to making similar jokes with other people, other groups of people, or?
Well, that's the thing. There are a lot of inappropriate jokes that get made at my particular workplace, but there's a comfort about it. Like, the people that they're made about are not only aware of it, but they get in on it.
Sure.
For example, I have a close friend named Zach. The day I met Zach, he walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Asian," and I said, "I can tell," but he goes by Asian.
Like his like.
Oh,
That's
like-
just what
Oh,
that's just
okay.
what his name.
When
Like, that's
Do you
what
have
everyone
another
calls him.
Zach that works there? And
No.
so-
Well, this was back in high school, and so he comes to the McDonald's and he carries his nickname with him, and so we call him Asian at work, which is also inappropriate. But he's the one that's like, no, that's just what you call me.
It's such a slippery slope with that
Right.
type of stuff.
Right.
It's like, yes, you want to have a positive work environment, and that
But is that derogatory?
No.
And that I think that's the
that's
line.
Exactly.
where that's where you
Right.
have to decide. Yeah,
Because
personally.
like I would absolutely never call someone who was gay or anyone part of the LGBT community, queer. But even if someone from the LGBT community said, "Oh no, that's just what you call me," I would go, "No,
I'm not going to.
I'm not
Right.
comfortable with that.
Yeah.
No, thank you."
Right.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, there's definitely those buzzwords that you're just like, even if you're okay with it.
The rest of the world is not.
Not.
So that's the thing. There's just some words that are just
Yeah.
not, and I don't mean bad words like "ooh, social contract," bad. They're just ugly, shitty
Bad.
words.
Yeah.
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 Like queer. That's not a good word. That's just a
It's
awkward,
getting up there with
disgusting-
Yeah,
it's
it's
getting up there with the what I call the little F word.
yeah.
Also
Yeah.
a derogatory term towards gay people.
Yeah.
Right,
but
right.
Right, like they're just not pleasant words. Why are those words we use?
Why would you?
They're not fun to say. They're
Even
not like
Even if there was no meaning attached to them, like
they're just shitty words.
yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at like the consonant to vowel like
Yeah, yeah.
sounds.
Right.
It's just
They're ugly words, and that's kind of the interesting thing is they were made to sound ugly.
Yeah.
Because they were meant to be derogatory.
Right.
Right.
Right. So it's
They're
Right.
meant to be literally
Clear.
dirty sounding
Your
words.
friend Zach, if he would have came up to you and said, "Please call me," like chink or whatever, you would never say to be like, "I'm not okay."
well,
with
to be
that.
fair,
The hesitation in your face, watching you be like, "Should I say this or not?" was
Because I
priceless.
don't like that word, and I
Right.
don't want people on this podcast thinking I like that word. I
Right,
don't.
right.
right. Well, there are some words
This,
that are.
this podcast is podcast MA this week.
Yeah, we're earning our explicit tag.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so there are some words that are bad words, but they're awesome words.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Mhm.
That's just
Well,
a
yeah.
great word.
It sounds powerful.
Oh, it's a
But
wrong
again,
word.
like, and I really think there is care in language when we're trying to find a word or a description for people, and it's meant to be derogatory.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to fuck. That's not meant to be derogatory. That's meant to be like something that like spices up a
Yeah.
sentence or something.
Right.
Fucking.
So like it the sound is pleasant. Like the aesthetic of the sound
Yeah, yeah.
is pleasant.
Right.
Language. Dun, 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 dun.
Some
Those
words suck,
words.
and managers need to get their shit together.
Do you? Sorry, before we move on, do you, as 20-year-olds in this room, do you ever find that it's so hard to, if something happens and you want to say something about it, but you didn't even know if it's your place to say something, or if you say something, something bad's going to happen to you? Do you struggle with that at all?
I used to, up until honestly, very recently,
Yeah.
until there was an incident at work that I was just like, no.
This is that girl. I think you told us
Yes.
about that.
Not only am I
That was
not,
like your first peeve.
Yeah.
Not only am I in charge, but I need to set an example that this is not okay. And ever since then, it's been like, oh,
The floodgates are open.
no, really, it's and not that I'm like, oh, social no, but like I've decided that being a decent human, like a little uncomfortability, or me feeling awkward or feeling out of place is worth
whatever.
is worth being a decent human being.
I feel that way too, and I say, I'm going to say something, and my mother says, don't, it's not worth it. And I'm like, but nothing will change if I don't say anything.
And I think that is absolutely a generational thing.
Must be.
And I think that's one of the big reasons I think our generation as a whole, other than, the internet,
Right.
and the cross-culture, the information just about culture and different cultures, different way of thinking is just spread so quickly because of the internet. But that is one of the biggest difference between our parents and us. It's not that they don't realize something
is wrong.
They
just don't say anything.
They do. They just don't say anything because it's not their place.
That's completely.
Or
that's how I feel.
Or it's like, oh no, we all know in the room it's wrong, but we're not going to say anything. But it's okay because we all know it's wrong. No!
Right.
Say something, change it.
That's what my motto, and I always tell my students this too. I'm like, nothing will change if you don't say something.
Yes.
So you have to say something. Otherwise, you might. And they used to tell us that's how they used to teach about like Holocaust in school. Like, if somebody would have said something, would it have gone for as long as it did?
Jack O'Brien, who's the editor-in-chief of Cracks.com, he has this theory about Steven Spielberg movies being so, like, he has this thing in all his movies about light being scary instead of darkness. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like a ton of examples.
A lot of the scary glorious shots of the T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
The T-Rex wasn't in shadow. It wasn't this. It was a complete figure cast in these floodlights.
And like E.T.
E.T. Yeah.
What was the other alien movie?
Jaws. No, I'm just kidding.
Alien.
I was saying another Steven Spielberg
King of the Crystal Skull.
No, shut up. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
That one wasn't light, but
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And the idea is because it's like, well, the Holocaust happened in broad daylight with everybody, pretty much everyone either knowing about it or knowing of something going on, and it was like this horrible atrocity that happened like in front of everyone, right under everyone's noses in broad daylight, and so it's like Spielberg's whole thing is like that, like really affected him to be like light is the scary thing.
They tied it to America not saying anything until America was attacked, and now we want to say something when you could have said something before.
Yeah.
But, so, if you're listening, go ahead, say something, and don't feel weird about it.
So that was...
Be intolerant of intolerance.
Yeah. Also,
can we get that on a t-shirt?
I don't tolerate intolerance.
There's this great picture of like this face, this like cartoon drawn face who's like smiling, and he's like all happy, and he says like, everyone hates a racist, but racists only hate a few people. It's great. It's like that's horrible, but I mean that's really funny. Yeah. So keeping with the theme of the peeve, Jordan's peeve this week. Mine, on the other hand, is a lot less.
We're only on peeves.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
We've been going for a half an hour now.
We got to teach the people something.
Yeah, that's right. If you take anything from this, it's that we can ramble for a long
populi
time.
And all that jazz.
Is that fuck is a really good word.
That's right. Well, mine is about work, and it's about me trying to write a website. Not a huge, elaborate one, just like a really simple. It's not even going to be a public one. It's going to be a local for our business where people can scan some stuff and then print a thing out based on what they've scanned.
Sure.
And I know a little bit about programming and coding, so I was able to like make the bare bones website that like displays like here's the stuff. But I'm still struggling to figure out how to get it to reference to a place that's on our computers, a local file.
Oh, okay.
And so what I've been trying to do is Google, use the internet to try to figure this out. And my peeve for this week is pretty much all-encompassing how you're trying to find information online and how frustrating that can be. There are like several kind of sub-peeves of this. Sure. There's when you ask a question on like a forum or whatever, and you say, hey, I have like this scenario and I need this to happen. How do I do that? And somebody responds with, oh, you don't want to do it like that. Like, you want to do it this other way, or, oh, just don't do that. Just do it some other way. Like, use a different thing, do it some different way. That's very frustrating for me. Because it's like, well, I'm doing it this way for a reason. If I wanted to use some other system, I would use another system. I'm specifically asking for this one. So
maybe they don't know that you've explored the other systems.
Don't answer the question that way then. Just be like, oh, I don't have this information for you. I'm going to sit this one out. Similarly, when people...
That's true.
That'd be a great answer to leave on someone's question. I have no idea.
That's literally...
I hate the people who do that.
Literally,
They don't say anything.
Literally what I was just about to say is when people respond with like, oh, I don't know. Hopefully you figure this out.
Thank you.
Like that.
You have wasted your time typing this and sending it,
And
and now
mine.
my time now reading it.
Reading it, exactly. And
Your
there's
mother
also...
does that a lot.
What's that?
Your mother does that a lot.
Oh, I'm talking about... That's fine. Like when you ask somebody, it's like, hey, how do you do this? I don't know.
No.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about like Facebook stuff, like leaving comments and whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying. And like on forums, especially where it's like, this is where I go to get the answers to very specific questions, and people are like, yeah, I'm having the same problem. I wonder if somebody else can solve this.
I get that, because then if there's someone posts on that, then they can look at it. But like,
They
just
can
to,
still do that.
I guess
I just feel like you're not contributing to this conversation.
not to you. Way to be really selfish.
I'm not the one who asked the question.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I
wasn't listening to you either.
I usually never post on forums. But yeah, so if anybody knows how to link to like a specific folder in your server in HTML, not JavaScript, that's another thing.
JavaScript is the worst.
It is.
It
It's
is.
so confusing. Doesn't make any sense. But HTML is fine.
Yeah.
It's just like there's this one specific thing that I haven't been able to do. So if anybody knows without using any like PHP or ASP files or any other thing, just HTML, hit me up.
Please
Send us
leave
an
a
email.
comment.
Right, send an
Sound
email
off in the
to
comments below.
peevesandqs@gmail.com or something. We don't have a website set up yet. Or
Make a forum.
make a forum.
Make
I
a
will.
forum.
I will. And I'll
Make
be
a
like,
Peeves and
Facebook
Qs forum.
Yeah.
I will, and be like, does anybody have any recommendations? People are like, just don't make a forum. You just don't do that. You just do something else. Oh, by the way, I wanted to have some follow up to our very first episode where my peeve was people doing phone numbers and
Oh, yeah.
giving them out the
Did
wrong
someone
way.
do that to you?
Yeah, someone did. Jordan over here.
Oh,
literally,
no!
Literally,
Oh, no!
Yeah, literally. I want to point this out. Literally, after we finished recording, I was like, "Hey, Jordan, I just realized I don't have your phone number," and so I was like, "Here, let me put it in." And he was giving it to me, and he literally gave it to me in the wrong way, where he said like 4567 or whatever. That's not his phone number, but. And I was like, "Fine, you type it in then." And I threw my phone at him, and I was like, "I'm not typing that in." You kidding?
Revenge on the peeves.
So I just wanted to point out, like, this is an ongoing concern. We did not solve the problem that night.
Okay, good catch up with your peeve.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we gotta really get out there and send this PR campaign out.
Yeah, we got
not about
spread
speaking
the
out
message.
against LGBT or anything.
Right.
Not
No,
speaking
this-
out against
Yeah.
LGBT community.
Yeah.
No, we
Speaking
No,
out
for
against
them.
Yes,
that is
there we go.
that is not this group.
Yeah,
That's a very
that's the
different
other-
podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like in a couple episodes, one of us is going to have a peeve that's like when people don't speak their mind, and it's going to encourage someone to be like, "Yeah, you know what? I hate gay people. I'm going to start sending the message, and we're going to be like,
And you know what?
No,
You know what? If you do that, fine. I don't like you.
you'll
But
probably."
you know what? Get your opinion.
I mean, speak your mind. Be
Let me know so that I can know not to like you.
You'll
Well, I mean,
probably
it's-
be
it's
one of
the
our
same-
peeves
it's
later
the same-
on.
It's kind of like the same argument that is in the first episode of a TV show that I watch.
What-
You know, is the West Wing
Mm-hmm.
is free speech worth having $5 pornography on the street corners? The answer is no, but $5 is way too much to pay for pornography.
That is true. Well, that show came out in like the mid 2000s. Yeah, the internet was around.
1999.
Oh,
It
the
doesn't
internet
matter.
was
Aaron,
kind of
Aaron
similar.
Sorkin is timeless. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Well, anyway, good peeves, you guys.
Yeah.
Some of us more discussion.
I'm
provoking
glad
than
that
others.
we're so irritated. Very good.
Yeah.
Good irritation.
Hey,
Good irritation,
makes
everybody.
me feel better when I can verbalize my peeves.
That's right. That's why we do this. Partly.
I guess.
Other part is because we're all incredibly narcissistic. Oh, yes, and also we love you.
And we know
Questions.
you have the same peeves too.
Subscribe.
Questions first before subscriptions. Anyone have a question? Who has questions?
Yeah,
Eeny,
we all
meeny,
have
miny, you do.
All right. So my
Unless you don't
question
want
this
to.
week is surprisingly unartistic because usually our questions involve like movies and art and all that.
Uh-oh, is it about sports?
No.
Oh,
I will
God.
not. I
I
would
would
answer.
never ask
Sports
this.
ball.
I would never ask a sports question. on this
Wimbledon.
podcast.
You only say that because I like that movie.
Yes, I do.
But no, my question is, if you were to own a business, what kind of business would you want to own?
Oh, this is a good question.
And in our tradition, I will go first. I would love to own a bar. Now, why a bar? Well, and of course, my actual, what I would love to do is own a movie production company, but I'm trying to stay away from the artistic side of things.
Yeah.
I would love to own a bar because, A, it's a good business if you know what you're doing. And B, there's just something about bars that I've always really liked. The idea
It's the watering hole. It's people coming together.
Actually, it's interesting. This is the Starbucks motto, but it's the third place. Because there's home, and then there's work, and then there's the third place.
Yeah.
And bars are usually that third place for people that
Cheers.
are old enough to have adult soda.
Are you old enough to have adult soda?
Not if
He is, but
not
he only
that
orders
term.
soda.
Do you not drink?
I don't.
But you want to own a bar?
I cannot tell you how many times
Well, I
we
mean,
have gone
do
to a
drug
bar.
dealers do crack?
Some of
No.
them. Oh.
Some of them, I'm
Not the
sure.
good ones.
If it's crack, probably not drug dealers because they can't do anything if they're doing crack.
I can't tell you how many times we're like, yeah, let's go to the bar. Okay, we got nothing going on tonight, and we'll go. And I'll be like, yes, I'll have a tall whatever I decide to order. And the server or waitress will always look at him and go, and you, and he will always say, yes, I'll look at Coke and grenadine, and they always make the same face.
Are they like,
It's always like, "Meh." Okay.
Right. Now,
with vodka? No,
Yeah.
or rum or whatever you put in
Yeah,
Coke?
yeah.
No.
Jack.
No,
So, okay.
I just love to own a
Put
bar.
anything in Coke.
It's a great business. I like the socialness of a bar, and
Yeah.
if I own a bar, I can do karaoke whenever the fuck I want.
So you don't drink
No,
at all?
I mean I try alcohol. I have no aversion to it. I just don't like the taste of alcohol.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Why do you not drink?
It
Total
tastes
good.
terrible.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
ever
a great
had,
reason not to drink.
not your grandfather's root beer or something?
Yes, equally horrible.
Yeah, it's got that aftertaste.
Yeah, the beer aftertaste just right down the drain.
Beer's bad.
Sorry.
I don't like beer as I drink beer, but
It's not
it's a
beer.
hard cider.
Yeah. It's an ale.
That's a beer. Okay.
It's an ale.
Whatever.
It's a terrible.
It's a Terra ale.
Shut your whore mouth.
There are some drinkers here and there are some non-drinkers here. I will let the audience decide.
Well, yeah, that's a good. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would. I don't know what you're gonna say, so I'm not gonna.
So
take
you're gonna jump over to me?
No,
Oh,
I'm not gonna take yours, but it might
go
be
ahead.
yours. Mine is I want to have like my own business that is a like software thing or like some kind of networking or like personal. I don't even know like what this is called, but like people would call me like I would give out my business cards and stuff, and they would be like, "Hey, I have this like huge problem with my computer or like my company's system or whatever," and then I would go in and like fix it or whatever, but get paid for it. I know a lot of people like who are computer people. They have friends and family be like, "My computer's broke, come fix it," and that's annoying because it's like, I mean, you could pay me for that if you want.
Well, you could start saying that.
Yeah, I should. But I'd love to like have my own business where I like dictate my own hours and stuff like that, and work from home if I wanted to. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, yes, film production is.
I mean,
it's the answer, but to like stay away from actual fun stuff and be like, no, an actual business would be like because I like don't hate working at all, but my problem is like being forced to work, you know, and especially with like hours that I always have a problem with that. It's like, well, if it's like an hour before my shift, like that's so much stuff I'm not able to do at that point. Like I can't watch a movie if I wanted to because I have to work in an hour, and that like really gets to me because I'm like, I'm my own person. I can make my own decisions. I know that's how the world fundamentally works, and I know like me complaining about that for some people seems ridiculous, but like that, I hate
That
that.
doesn't seem ridiculous because I feel that way too. But
So I just
I literally think work is like jail. But
yeah.
But I understand.
So I'd like to set my own hours and be like, if I don't want to do any work right now, I'm not going to do that.
You
Obviously,
are
you have to.
definitely gonna see it in your paycheck, but
Well, I mean, I'll do the work, just
And
it doesn't matter
employment.
when. What?
And employment history.
yeah.
Well, that's why I want to be my own boss.
only do the work when your bills are overdue.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the work just whenever
Yeah, it just
I
doesn't
want.
sound like he'll do the work.
Yeah, just like,
Your faith, my faith.
What an
in you
advertisement
just
campaign.
skyrocketing right now.
Just I'll do the best job
When I want
eventually.
to.
yeah, I should probably cut out my entire spiel just then if I want to be employable. How you doing? What's up over there with you?
My first thought was actually a bar because we talked about opening
Yes.
a
Geek.
nerd bar.
A geek bar,
Like,
yeah.
for, have video games and, like, just absolutely everything nerd culture in it. I also thought about opening a theatrical bar and call it like curtain call or whatever. Which
That'd be
I'm sure somebody's done that. But
multiple businesses have.
Every bar that's across the street from a theater ever.
Yeah, but they didn't call it curtain call. But yeah. But if we're gonna stay away from those, I just had one. I've always loved PR and marketing and how that works and how you can, like we talked about before we started recording, like get someone to use that product, whatever product it is, whether it's a different small business or an actual product or homemade or whatever, but or a venue even. Like I like what ticks people into coming to that place or whatever. So PR and marketing, I'd like to do that.
That'd be fun.
So mine's almost identical.
To mine?
Yeah,
Really?
like a marketing firm, but like the flip side. So like you're like into how it works, and then I'm the other side of it. It's like, okay, now that we know, what's the
What are we
plan?
gonna do?
Like, what's the ethos? You know, like how are we going to translate that into the actual ad campaigns?
All right, well, Connor and I are going to open
We're going to business together. Guys. Yeah.
a PR business.
Isn't like marketing and PR all that stuff about like it's not about the product, it's about the lifestyle that you're presenting.
On the whole,
yeah.
It's like you want to buy this car because you'll be cool, not because this is a good car.
Basically, or what that says about you.
One of Apple's first ad campaigns.
Oh,
was absolutely genius.
Brilliant ad campaigns at the beginning.
These are literally have become textbook examples.
Yep.
And for those who aren't familiar,
I've seen them.
I'm talking about listeners.
No, but I'm saying.
Oh, right.
I have to let it go.
I have seen
For those who haven't seen it, you can check them out on YouTube. But it's essentially
There'll be a link in the.
Essentially, the ad campaign is liking their products to free thinking, and they do that by showing an Olympic event, or like not necessarily an Olympic event, but a track and field event.
I was assumed
It's I think it's a pole vaulting. I think because it's soaring and it juxtaposed with like a very like fascist regime, like people marching.
They really draw the parallels between 1984.
Yeah. In that specific one,
yeah,
and they like in their product. And they're not saying and that's the beauty of it. They didn't bring up anyone else's product,
right?
But their own. They're saying their product is like free thinking, and so they have these two juxtaposing themes, and it's I don't know, like it's I have not seen such an aggressive like ad campaign that was not negative,
right? Yeah,
Totally.
Okay. They're the one that they followed up with when they were like, here's to the crazy ones, and it showed like all the free thinkers and everything. There's like music playing under it. Like I get a reaction from seeing that commercial. Like I get goosebumps. I'm like, this is a great ad for like not like most trailers. I mean, I guess that's spoilers. Most like ads that I love are trailers, but that's the only one that I've seen that's been like for a product that I've been like.
Like going off the trailers, because I mean we're an artsy group, and we're clearly into like film and television and theater and all that. It's talking about how marketing and ads don't sell you a product; they sell you an idea or a lifestyle or a feeling. I feel trailers nowadays. I am more interested in watching the trailer, and I am always. Almost even if it's a movie I like, I always go, "What is as good as the trailer?"
Right.
Because there's something about the trailer that sells you the basic ideas of what you want to get out of this film. It's not just about promotion and saying this is what we have to offer. Now trailers saying this is what we have to offer. Here, let's present it in a way that allows you to insert what you would also like out of that experience.
Oh my gosh, when Jurassic World came out, the first... And I made the biggest mistake, and I studied those commercials when they came out as closely as I could. And that's the biggest mistake they made, because it really let down when I actually saw the movie. I was like, oh, it wasn't as good as the trailers.
Right. I want to ask you when you think that started, with trailers being like better than the movies, because I think Inception... I'm not saying it was like the best trailer.
I was gonna say, I feel like they've always been that way.
Oh no.
I don't think on the whole, because I mean it was only just the 90s where we still. I mean even I think the last one I remember was for I think Godzilla. It was the first trailer for the 90s American Godzilla. The other trailers were the new format, but the first trailer was so that was 1998, right?
Yep.
So that was where we still had the movie voice.
Oh wow!
Like,
in a world.
In a world,
right.
You know, guy,
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
98. And so, and the reason I think of that movie is because that film had both styles of trailers.
Yeah.
But I really think it was the tail end of the 90s and the 2000s where we were sort of reinventing. I think that was the first time because pop culture really wasn't a thing at the last turn of the century.
Right.
I mean, not the way it is now.
Oh, definitely
in such a
not.
consumable way, a mass consumable way, that we had a hand in shaping what we wanted pop culture
Right.
and our own entertainment to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was born out of that, and I don't think it's left. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is whatever. You can debate that all day.
The new Godzilla, no, the most recent one from like 2013, 14?
14.
Yeah.
14. The trailer for that movie, or at least the first one, should have won some kind of an award.
Talking about the one where it has the Japanese opera as it's the free fall.
Oh yes,
It's
that
the
one.
free fall.
That one.
I thought you said that Suicide Squad should win an award for
Oh.
that trailer.
Oh, that
I mean, that should have
win
won
that
multiple
Bohemian Rhapsody,
awards.
The second trailer,
Yeah. The Bohemian
fantastic.
Rhapsody one, yeah.
I mean, the
I
third one is good
love-
because it's also a Queen song and it's also set in time to the music. But there's the Bohemian Rhapsody one that honestly, there is something that is, and that's the thing. And that's the thing about marketing. You don't know exactly what it is and how they did it and what decision led to this. All the elements together just, to me, aesthetically went, yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I can't wait until we see that movie and go, wasn't this trailers? Or whatever.
I mean, probably. I mean, that's
It might. I'm just really excited that we're finally getting Harley Quinn in something.
Live
so,
action, yeah.
Yeah.
First live action Harley Quinn. This is...
incorrect.
There was one.
What are you talking about?
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Oh, how? Why?
It does.
Why
Because-
doesn't it?
It
Because
does,
nobody
but-
saw it.
What year did that come out?
2000 and...
Birds of Prey? I don't know.
It was after Smallville came out.
Huh.
But it was only...
like 2005?
Yeah.
So like 2003?
6?
2003, 2004?
Sure.
I don't even remember.
A
which
decade
one.
ago.
Was that your question?
Yeah.
Both things that you've submitted to the podcast has gone completely off the rails for like 20
That's
minutes.
That
the fun
happens
of
every
it.
time I ask a question.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
Oh my god.
He asked really good questions.
I'm thought provoking.
All right, I'll ask a question.
That's
It'll
why I'm
be
your
less
special guest.
thought provoking, and it is about art. Thanks for throwing me under the bus there with that. What is the most recent music album that you've discovered?
It's like your very first question.
No,
Like,
it's your
I
favorite
know.
one. This
So
one's
wait,
the
one more
most
time,
recent.
can you repeat the
Most
question?
recent album that we've discovered and
Yeah.
liked.
It doesn't matter. Preferably if you don't like it, but most recent album that you've been
Preferably
like.
if we don't like it?
Well, whatever.
What?
I'm just saying whatever the most
That's a
recent
horrible
one
question.
is.
I'm just kidding.
You don't have to have liked it or not.
What have you found lately?
I'll go first. I recently listened to the Hamilton soundtrack, the original Broadway cast.
Like all the way through.
I finished it
full
today.
listen. Okay.
Yeah, it took me a while. It's a very
good.
long
Yeah.
album. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
had
it's
to,
like the show, isn't it? Like, there's not dialogue, I don't think.
Yeah, it is. It's shown almost in its entirety.
I really liked it. It was awesome. And the final act, Acts 2, especially the last half act 2 was heartbreaking. Almost every
yeah.
song is hey, here's this horrible thing that happens, and here's this horrible thing, and maybe not horrible world-ending things, but they're they
oh,
really
by the way, your son died.
yeah, and they really personalize it,
Oh.
and they're here's the emotion, here's a specific phrase that they use that makes you go, oh, I don't want to be feeling
And
these
here's why I think that works is world-ending apocalypses
yeah.
aren't nearly as effective as the personal apocalypses
No.
of our everyday.
Right.
Well, it's there was a theory of why everyone hates Umbridge more than they hate Voldemort. Voldemort's not real, an Umbridge.
Yeah, that's completely true.
There will never, we don't know what it's like to fight Apocalypse from X-Men Apocalypse.
You're right.
We know what it's like to lose someone we care about.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Right. So, Hamilton.
Are you passing that on?
Great album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the easiest thing I could say is the Legally Blonde soundtrack because I just auditioned for the show, but I'm not going to say that. I also don't listen to music, so it's really hard. I had to actually reach really far back. You and I saw How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Broadway show, back in November.
Yeah.
And technically, that was the first time I had heard any of that music from that entire show.
Right. Yeah.
Most of it was good and very catchy, and like that song, "One of a Kind," I still to this day crack up about because he comes back, he's like,
Oh yeah.
"Hi, how are you?" It's just a really good show. What I wanted out of that show, no, because I wanted it to be exactly like the movie, but still very good.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about that. I'm not a huge music person, so I'm gonna pass the baton.
And that's the thing. Like, it's a difficult question in the sense of how you want it. Like, preferably bad.
Ignore that.
Well, no. But I kind of want to address that.
Right.
Like me personally, I don't. Not that I don't discover things I don't like, but I wouldn't say like I come across things, and if I don't like it,
You don't?
I don't try to explore it and
Right.
just, like, you know what I mean.
Right.
So like, there was like I think I said this a couple weeks ago. I went to a concert a few weeks ago, and there was like the first opening band.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Mhm.
They had an album out. I was like, "There's no way I'm buying this."
Right.
None. But the last opener before the headliner, which is a band, Red Sun Rising, which if you haven't listened to it, give their album a listen. It's self-titled, and there is not a single song on the album I don't like.
Mhm.
This is an album I can just put on and just listen to
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
through. Simple question. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I've recently discovered and really enjoyed. And
Cool.
Yeah.
So I've discovered a lot of songs recently, but for a whole album, I have to reach back a little bit. And mine is also a musical, not a Broadway musical. It's actually off Broadway, and now I think it's traveling. It's called Murder Ballad,
Mm-hmm.
which is this fantastic rock musical.
Oh wow.
Is it a rock opera?
I don't think so. No. I'm pretty sure that it is. Well, I know it's not a literal opera, but also there are
Right.
scenes in it.
Okay.
It's also a one act.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a 90-minute.
And so they.
The best kind.
Yeah, and it was written by someone, and I can't ever remember who it is, but they are an alternative rock musician. Like, that's what they do. They had a friend write it, and then they're like, hey, compose this, and they did, and it's
Bono.
fantastic. It wasn't Bono.
No, Bono
Tried to do a
Spider-Man.
That's
Turn Off
right.
the Dark.
And, well, it went so poorly. But, anyway, it's a fantastic musical, and it covers a lot of emotional ground. Like, it just goes to some really light and dark places. In fact, the other day, Connor and I were driving home from something or another, and I turned it on. I was like, hey, check out this song. And he was like, oh, man, that's good. And I was like, yeah, if I ever, got to do this show, I would probably, this is the part I'd want you to audition for, so get
They're
ready.
like, oh, yeah, because this is a great part.
Yeah,
Meaty part.
It's fantastic. Give it a listen.
That conversation that you just had with yourself with Connor, I want that to be filmed, but take your the ADR from you just doing that right now and just put that over him speaking. So it's just you doing the voice for both of you in your tone of voice.
Oh, like Drunk History? That's
Yeah,
how they
just
do
like
it.
Drunk History. I want to see that. It's like, hey, give this a listen. Yeah, all right, I'll do that.
Have you guys ever seen Once, the musical?
Yes.
No.
What do you think of it?
I like some of it.
That's how I feel.
I don't
I
like
like the
others.
story. Not so. I mean, some of
Like,
the
I
songs
like-
not so much.
I like Falling Slowly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
song.
Visually, it's a very interesting show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
You
Glee.
should listen to it. We know you like Glee,
I love Glee.
and we'll try not to judge you for it. but-
Giving credit where credit is due, because you were trying to figure out who.
Yes, thank you.
The book for Murder Ballad was written by Julia Jordan, the music by Juliana Nash, and they both wrote the lyrics.
Thank you.
Good job.
Cool.
And for Hamilton, if you don't already know, that's
Lin-Manuel
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
Who is just the biggest thing right now? Like, he's blowing on up.
Sure.
Follow him on Twitter because he actually posts a lot of really great stuff about theater and about some charities that he's working with. And
And also, just on the theme of music and discovering albums, it's not the most recent one I've discovered, but there's... People should look up Aaron Tveit.
Oh.
He's a big thing on Broadway right now.
Yeah.
But he's also got some music out, and he's really good.
He was in Les Mis, the
Yes.
movie.
I guess he was.
He is. He has done better things.
Can you name the character, Alex?
I couldn't name a single character in Les Mis that wasn't Jean Valjean. So
Not even Cosette.
Cosette, sure. There's like the revolutionary Rezhakhafalanov, and there's his friend Guillermo.
Hey man, I study theater. Never seen Les Mis. Never heard. Like,
You don't need to.
Care.
I don't think you ever need.
Was he the blonde one with the
No.
curls?
No.
Who was that?
Well, actually, no. Yes. Normally, that design is not given to that character, but in the movie, yes.
Okay.
If you
and Glorious.
if you listen,
Yes, with the J in the middle. See,
Yes.
see, this is my point.
So I know you've listened to Next to Normal.
Oh yes,
the
love it.
son, Gabe.
I know,
Yeah,
I know,
that's Aaron Tveit.
Ah.
He's fantastic.
I know. I didn't like. I remembered him from that movie, and then I did not recognize his voice. What?
He said fantastic. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like in my head.
I'm
None
gonna
of you
see
heard
him,
it, but there was like a little ting.
Yeah. And I just did the
yeah.
thing.
I've been doing that this whole podcast. You and I both do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if we got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
from each other.
Who started it?
That's what
I
your
don't
friend.
know.
It was
It's
probably,
just-
it was
I
probably you.
Honestly, I think we developed it on our own,
Maybe.
apart from each other,
Probably.
and then
Yeah.
came together.
and then we came together to form
yeah.
with our powers
Oh,
combined.
Zoltron. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Zordon.
Dang it!
You suck
I
at
do.
90s history.
Oh.
Also,
No,
your
specifically
powers,
Power
our
Rangers.
powers combined. What '90s character does that create?
Yeah.
By our powers combined.
Oh, don't tell me. Nobody tell me this.
Oh
By
my
our
God.
powers combined.
Oh my God,
Captain Planet.
Yes.
Okay, good.
He's
He's Captain.
our hero.
Yeah, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero.
Great.
He didn't. Outdoor will tell you he failed.
Captain Planet, where are you?
Speaking of Captain, okay, I have to like.
It's the Magic School Bus kids growing up.
I completely agree.
Yep.
So, speaking of Captain Planet, we have to post the links of this video in the description.
Do we?
Don Cheadle as Captain Planet.
Really?
But, yes, it's for a comedy website. It's some of the fun because Captain Planet's a dick in these, and he's like, but he's like absolute like, oh, pollution. Oh, I'm gonna kill all the humans. Zap. What?
Oh, that's great.
Sounds all right.
You were supposed to teach us, Captain Planet.
You're
That was easier.
unteachable. Nice. Well,
Good question.
good question.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, well, we'll move
I can't
on to
remember where
mine.
we were. Oh, okay, good.
Thank you.
The
Thanks.
clever
Well-
girl.
The clever girl. Okay, mine is... I don't even know if you guys know how to answer this. My question is, what is your zodiac sign, and do you think that you fit into that sign?
I
I'm
know.
uncomfortable.
I know what. Oh, sorry. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, my sign is Gemini, and I completely fall into that. Gemini is the symbol is 2. And then, so you're half of this and half of that, and that's my entire personality is like, well, yes, I think this way about science, and I think this way about this, and this, and this, and I, work in a dental office, and this is this one part of my life, and then I work over here, and I do all this theater stuff, and that, use both sides of my brains in different ways, so I completely fall into that. I can look it up, but, I don't know really what sign goes with Gemini. I know it's not your sign, which is really funny, but,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cool.
So I'm a Cancer, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
My sister's a Cancer, so I can answer that. Sure. No, you're not.
Wow. Well, there you go.
You are not at all like a Cancer. Cancers are just...
I don't know. Something about you just makes me think Leo.
Yes,
And it's the
exactly.
hair.
It is.
Oh.
You are definitely a Leo.
Well, that's the thing. I've heard Cancers are really emotionally I don't usually buy into
You don't...
into it, but on the whole, I think something I've got about Cancer is emotionally intuitive and they're very artsy. And in that sense, yeah. I mean, yes, that's like me in a nutshell. But everything else, I have no idea. And B, it's probably the most generic.
You are a water sign. And
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess.
I used to not buy into that kind of stuff, astrology. I think because it's how could that be? But it's it can creep me out sometimes how people do fall into
It's
it.
usually
Right.
written in the most
Well, horoscope.
generic.
Right, horoscopes
way.
I don't buy into at all. Hey, if you're this sign, then this will happen. Yeah, that's really generic. But when it's
Sorry.
when it's hey, people of this sign behave this certain way or are this certain way, then it's I
But then again, I remember reading all of the signs, and I went, "Oh, that's me." And then the next one, I'm like, "Oh, that's me."
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
It's from the specific comes the universal.
Right. Yeah.
Your best marriage or partnership is a Capricorn, which is really funny.
That works
So that's
out.
probably why you guys are really good friends.
Yeah.
You and me right now, buddy.
It says partnership, guys.
Well,
Sorry,
that's what
that's
it is in some states.
Yeah.
I know.
But
Well, no, not anymore.
Cancers like art, home-based hobbies, relaxing near or in water, helping loved ones, and good meals with friends.
I mean, who doesn't love any of that?
I mean,
You don't like good meals with friends.
I
apparently.
love good meals with friends.
Speaking of
His good meal just happens
Here's
to
a
be
good
chicken
segue.
nuggets
Speaking
and
of
fries.
you.
Like, whatever.
what's your sign?
Jordan, what's
Oh,
yours?
I am a Scorpio,
Ooh.
and I haven't actually.
What's your favorite Spider-Man villain? Is it Scorpion?
No,
Shut up.
I knew. Oh my god.
it's Carnage
Oh, yeah.
Thank
because he's
you.
pure chaos.
Sure.
And that's a great villain. Anyways, but no, I looked into the whole astrology stuff and all that when I was in high school, but I haven't seen it in a long time. So I don't really remember that much about it, but I remember feeling like it was accurate, and I was like, yeah, that's me. But I was also 17 and a douchebag, so maybe it's not. I don't remember.
Well, who wasn't at 17?
Scorpios like truth, facts, being right, long-term friends, teasing, and grand passion.
Yep.
Grand passion.
Hey, that's me too.
Yeah, I feel so connected to that. Yeah.
Well, your greatest overall capabilities or
Is being an
partnerships
asshole.
are Cancer.
I
So.
mean,
Wait. Cancers with Capricorn, but
right? They
Libra
don't.
with
They don't
the-
match up.
Guys,
that is lame.
in
Yeah.
this table.
That's not fair. What if so?
In
like
this
you,
table,
you
we
want
have
to be
a love
with me, but I don't
triangle.
want to be.
Yeah, that's basically zodiac signs right there.
Now, if you're into Scorpio, that's just a whole, like...
and
well,
then
now
I'm
we're
just
just
out of
Pokemon.
this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Then we're just Pokemon, where
Well-
it's like I'm the grass version, obviously.
Okay, spoilers. You're a.
Oh, my zodiac sign is I'm the zodiac killer.
Okay.
The truth is out there.
But you're
I
not
guess.
Ted Cruz.
That's right. I'm not Ted Cruz. Yeah. That was yes, good. Yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I have a ring that says Capricorn. That's how I know. I don't know. I think
Is that something you come across in your day-to-day life?
I'm like filling
frequently
out
that you need to
forms,
have,
and people
like-
are like, "What sign are you?" And I'm like, Capricorn.
What form?
I'm
Ask-
joking.
You know what? Never mind.
The joking forms.
What bank do you go to?
Yeah. The Star Bank.
Well, you're Capricorn, so we don't feel you're approved for this loan.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it goes. I think they're supposed to be laid back, which is me in a nutshell. I don't know that much about.
You're an Earth sign.
Good. What does that mean?
You like Earth.
I do.
Best marriage and partnerships is Cancer. So
Oh, great. I
that's-
guess that does work out.
Yeah. This is not at all like you. Capricorn's like family. You don't like family, but you do like music and understanding understated status, quality craftsmanship.
Hey, that's me too.
Yeah.
Than's, Connor.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Cool.
And Capricorns dislike almost everything at some point.
That is true. I've hated everything.
Alex, that is
That's-
accurate for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Well, I knew that was just a
Whatever.
crappy
No, it
question
was-
to
no,
ask
it was
about
just like
a bunch of men. Yeah.
No,
it's
fun.
just fun, like a fun little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't
It's
all be
something
serious.
different than what we normally
Right.
do.
I just really wanted to know what you guys were so I could understand your personalities.
Right.
And now we're
Trick.
going to kick it over to the Quaff Man.
Can we edit just that tire?
Actually, what I'm going to do is copy that and paste it over the entire episode.
And
So that's
it's
going to
nothing
be
but
nothing but an hour and a half of
man.
and then like the very last bit is like raw man.
All right.
I bet it would get us more listeners than
I'm
anything we've put out
From now
before.
on,
I'm an
just so you know.
I'm an air sign, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question.
Yeah.
So imagine for me, if you will, guys, all of you have just landed your dream job.
Directing,
Sorry.
directing Justice League movies.
Sorry, Alex, you are not your own boss in this scenario.
You have to be under somebody else's.
You have landed a dream job, not maybe your dream job, but like a really good, well-paying, well-respected, and really gratifying job. except you have to travel a lot, which for some people that's like, oh, okay, cool, I have to travel a lot. And they send you on your first assignment that you're there for a month to the one place on this planet that you hate. Where is that place? I'm going to kick it over to the special guest.
Actually, your question first? No? Yeah, okay. Florida. I hate Florida.
You've been on Florida for this entire...
So Florida is hot, which I don't like. It's humid, which I even more don't like. And so we talked about the fears a couple episodes ago. Yeah, everything there is poisonous and trying to kill you.
Oh, no, you're
In
thinking
Florida?
of Australia.
No, I'm thinking of Florida, where they have poisonous spiders, poisonous snakes, abundant. And, oh yeah, the apex predator, the alligator. It is the perfect killing machine. That's why it's never changed for millions of years.
I thought you were going to say the crane, but okay.
I thought you were going to say the geckos.
I do not want to fight an alligator.
I thought you were going to say Dexter.
Is that in Florida?
Does it
Yes.
take place in Florida?
Yes, Miami.
Does he ever fight an alligator?
Probably. That's
Yes!
He does in like season 2,
And
right?
if-
Yes!
And if he can't get away from alligators, I can't get away from alligators.
He got
He
away.
got
It
away.
makes
But
you
The
he-
show
think
continued.
He
It
still
didn't,
had to fight
that wasn't the
him.
finale. He got eaten by an alligator.
Oh, it's over.
That would have been better than the finale we got.
But
Oh yeah,
anyways,
spoilers.
So Florida, just don't want to go there.
I love
Weird,
Florida.
weird.
For-
And oh yeah, drunk frat boys on the beach, like hard pass.
Oh yeah, definitely.
North Korea. I would not.
There you go.
That's
I
a
want-
fair choice.
For a month to live there, like I don't want that. I
And
want
of course, if you were to live, like I feel if any of us were to like be sent there to live, of course, like we're the special guest
Yeah.
of honor, and like we're living in the palace,
Right,
And
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
awkward, and it's the interview all over again.
yeah, it's
And
just
we're
an
done.
interview.
That was a great movie.
It was a
Looks like
fantastic
they had a
movie.
great time,
Uh-huh.
other than the murdery bits. But yeah,
Right, right.
And then we're Dennis Rodman just chilling with Kim Jong at the back. Like that is the thing. But anyways,
Yeah.
North Korea,
So
the home of oppression.
Right. I would like to go there, maybe like sneak into the place, like if I were like an Indiana Jones type or Mission Impossible. Just like look around and be like, hey, I've been to North Korea, you guys, but like have to live there for a month. No, sir.
I will warn you, North Korea has a moving automated tank that automatically shoots anything human without identifying it.
Wow.
Don't cross the border.
Okay.
Just don't do it.
North Korea also has the greatest dictator in all of time. If you go by North Korea standards.
Okay.
What's up with you? How's it going?
Well, staying in that hemisphere, you would have to shoot me before I would ever take a job that travels. But you would really have to bury me deep if I would have to go to like Tokyo, Japan. I would die.
Why?
Because there's so many people and the food. I know I wouldn't. I just couldn't make it.
In the personal space in
Oh yeah.
in Japan, it's
And
like
Yeah.
Well, in most of the rest of the world, really. Like,
right, yeah.
oof.
It's
Yeah.
like we have the in America we have this like, hey,
We have
this
elbow
is my
room.
area,
elbow
like.
room, elbow room.
But in Japan, they're just like,
That elbow.
how are you?
Yeah,
And you're like,
there's
please
just
stay
way
away.
too many people.
I should have leaned in.
I
the
live
microphone.
on a farm, and
also bathhouses. That's the thing.
yeah.
You don't have to
also
go to those.
Yeah, shitting over a hole, because that's a thing.
Mm.
And the food and what's cooked and what's not, and
Tentacle porn. Like
Yeah.
you go down
You
the
can get that here,
you
man.
go
Yeah.
down the wrong alley and you're in it. Okay,
Yeah.
you just don't want to
You're
do
officially
that.
in it.
You'll find
You're a
yourself.
cameo.
And
Right.
I'm terrified of a language barrier. Like
Yeah. Oh.
that stuff scares me more than anything.
That's not Japan.
Huh?
That's everywhere.
yes,
yeah.
but I'm saying there's also a language barrier in
Right.
Japan.
Right.
And that would suck because like.
I'm not into anime at all either, so I'm just,
No.
Right, so there's no draw.
yeah.
Right,
I'm,
right.
and
A lot of
people
people
be
are
like,
like, "Oh, it's such a cool culture."
kawaii, and I'd be like, oh my god, get me out of here.
I'd like to go there for like the video game stuff.
Yeah, that would be kind
Like
of interesting.
Nintendo, origins of Nintendo and all that, like Nintendo museums or whatever. That'd be cool. Where's the like Harry? There's like 2 Harry Potter like exhibits, quote unquote, but they're like it's like Diagon Alley. Like they've set up 2 Diagon Alleys in the world. I think one of them's in Britain somewhere, and the other one's in I think Japan is the other one.
There's one in Florida.
As long as you say Orlando.
I'm not talking about Disney World.
Oh.
Universal, get your shit together.
What?
It's Universal
Ever.
Studios.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm pretty sure they're just Earthbound. But
Stop it.
Anyway.
Anyway, I
What
would
about-
not like to go to Tokyo Camp.
So my place is, and the reason I didn't go first is because we both, Jordan and I, our special guest, would have had the same answer as Florida. But
I was going to say you
I'm
still
going
have
to
the same
change
answer.
mine
Okay.
to Louisiana
Uh-huh.
because it's Florida,
But southern.
but more swampy
yeah.
because it's in a swamp.
Sure.
We went on a road trip to Florida.
Right.
And the second we left Michigan,
Yeah.
it's literally the South. Like we
Yeah.
got out in Ohio.
Ohio at a McDonald's.
And the way people looked at us, like when we started talking, they were like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like I was just like, "Oh my god,
And it's not-
where are we?"
And it wasn't like us being like we're used to the way Michigan people talk, so any like subtle differences we'll pick up on. It was like no, they were full on like doing a
Like,
southern accent.
yeah.
Where in Ohio? It could like 'cause
No,
there is like a divide.
Oh, it was
Like there really
Northern
is.
Ohio.
we got out at like almost as soon as because like pretty much whenever
They're
we
faking
stopped.
it. At that,
I don't know.
People in Northern Ohio, stop faking the accent. You're literally like less than like 2.5 hours from Detroit.
Also,
shut up.
leave Ohio. All right, who wants to? So you asked a question. and
But did you
asked a
finish on your elaboration of
Oh, that's it.
Louisiana?
well, and to cap, like also in Louisiana, the language barrier because they don't
Yeah.
speak English.
No, they don't.
They
ser-
speak Bayou.
They speak French.
They-
and also
Well, yeah,
and
it's
Bayou,
that combination of that Creole French
and toothless, literally.
Well, some people.
Some people.
Not.
Most people.
I mean, you're talking about the swampy parts, so.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
gonna
I
be
wouldn't
honest.
want to live on a riverboat.
Although I still just at some point in my life I want to go to New
Born on the
Orleans.
bayou.
Like that just seems like a great city to go to.
One more time.
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, I would love to. I would visit
Yeah.
Visit.
Visit.
for like
A couple of
3
days.
days.
You know what you
Yeah.
can do in New Orleans? You can just have a parade. You can pay like I think it's $40-$50 and just have.
Okay, Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
it's his bit, but like, I would totally go for a week and just have a parade every day to end my night. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
every day though you'd get tired.
All
of that.
7 days,
No.
just like yeah. And then if I don't want to go, guess what? I won't go. The band will just be marching behind no one. Like yeah.
It's my parade. I can be there if I want to.
It's my parade. I can go if I want
Exactly.
to. Ooh, that was a good one. Okay.
Wow. So did we all ask questions and answer questions?
Yes. And we
Wow.
all said peeves.
Huh?
And we all said peeves.
Wow. So we're done then.
We're done.
But we could go on for another like 5 hours just on this one podcast.
We could.
Who has things to talk about?
So beer is terrible.
No,
It
beer's
is.
great. I'll tell you why.
So I want to introduce a segment.
What's
What'd you learn today?
You didn't introduce that. We had an episode.
you're
of that.
introducing it again?
Into this episode.
Okay, sure. I learned that you two really don't like Florida, and I still
Yeah.
don't understand why, because I still think you're talking about Australia.
You're looking at me as
Yeah.
if I was part of that.
Yeah, justify yourselves. Explain yourself.
Florida, the
I
armpit of
don't.
America.
Okay. Well,
I
it
feel like
was
it's
going to
like
be your
no,
peeve.
no,
It was
it's
going to
like
be your
the
place.
groin.
But that's
of
not. That wasn't
America.
inherent. That like wasn't why. Like that's all on him.
All right,
To
all right.
comment that, and Jody, it might have been covered up, but Jody just said, well, Florida's more like the groin because it doesn't force ballot. If it's the groin, it has crabs. That's why I hate Florida.
Literally,
It's like,
though,
well,
right?
like with the humidity and
It's
stuff,
like-
you're definitely getting some type of fungal
Florida is
infection there.
Florida is infested, and that infestation gave us George Bush. So
Totes my goats. Yeah.
See our
tragedy. There's never going to be enough time.
Green Day episode where we talk about Green Day for
We'll
like
talk
an
about George
hour.
Bush. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the greatest stand-up comedian is George W. Bush.
I think the
I
greatest.
think you're wrong. I think Donald Trump is
I was
the
gonna say
best
Donald Trump.
one.
I've never seen an actual person say real things that they honestly believe and just been like, really? Like you actually just said that?
And here's why I say George W. Bush is the greatest stand-up comedian. Because Will Ferrell had a special. It's his only stand-up special. He is George W. Bush for an hour and a half. It is like a one-man show of George W. Bush.
He's really good at
He's
it.
playing another character doing stand-up.
Nice.
Like that's
Genius.
incredible.
You've seen the Axis of Evil video, right?
Mhm.
Where he's like, the Axis of Evil's out to get us. We got to destroy him. The vice president, I don't trust him. He's in there. He's in the Axis of Evil. The guy like
Dick Cheney, I don't trust him. He's in there.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I learned that Jordan wants to own a bar but doesn't drink, which is perfect because bar owners should not drink. So I think you should really.
On
do
the
it.
other hand, never trust a skinny chef. How do you know you're serving good stuff?
Because I have customers that like it.
Moesha she had a book that was literally titled that. Don't trust a skinny chef.
Who is that?
Moesha?
Yeah.
Do you know who Moesha is?
I'm sorry, I have a soul. I was born in the 90s.
That's what I thought. You know who Moesha is, right?
No,
Okay, well, you're not
fucking
from the
kidding.
90s either. Connor and
I was born in 94. My consciousness
That's right. That's
started in 2001.
Yeah. 92? 91?
91.
Okay, 90. Okay, after 92, you're officially not a 90s kid anymore.
I disagree.
Why?
I disagree.
You're not because you don't know anything.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm
90s
trying.
children grew up in the 2000s.
Exactly.
That's when we experienced our teenage years.
Right.
So if you're a 90s kid, it's because you were born in the 80s.
Right, but I'm just saying. Okay, Moesha was a very popular African American actress who is not skinny.
I learned that my
She's from
soulmate
the-
is the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, apparently.
Sorry, Alex.
I learned that, according to this podcast, Connor and I are perfect for each other.
I knew that before this podcast started.
And it seems like Jordan's on the outside looking in and just being sad about this whole thing.
And I learned that I need to make a murder plot to kill the Zodiac Killer to claim my perfect match.
And I'll be.
I'm sorry, what?
And I'll be. So am I the General Plagueis in the? I mean,
Yes.
Darth Plagueis in the scenario,
Yes.
and you're Palpatine.
Yes.
Palpatine.
And that would
Palpatine.
make
And
me
Quaffman
Anakin.
is the power.
Oh.
You're just the Force.
I am unlimited power.
Can I be Padme?
Yes, because she's unimportant to the
Thank you
plot.
for listening.
Oh! Oh!
I don't care what it takes to have sex with Hayden Christensen.
Wow. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for listening. Please never listen to this.
You know what I think, Alex?
What?
This was terrible.
This was terrible. Shut it down.
We're getting way better at this, guys.
We are. Yeah.